to even it up. So August Frisk obviously destroyed this one. He's been having his broccoli, hasn't he? He's been eating his greens, that kid. He destroyed the first EMX125 race. So back to the line again, and let's see whether he can back it up.
Of course, if you're liking what you're seeing, and do you know what? Even if you're not, go and subscribe to MXN TV, you know, because you don't have to come back and watch it. Hopefully, you're really enjoying what we're doing. As we said, we threw this together pretty darn quick. This wasn't going to happen.
About a week, wasn't it?
Trust me, it was very much a last-minute
well, it's
call.
like people would message me, why has it not been announced? Why has it not? Well, because it wasn't done. That's why. Like, it was very last minute.
But we've made the decision to, obviously, as well, launch effectively a new platform in MXN TV. Obviously, working with the guys at Alpha Live on production with this. So big up them for getting involved with us and trying to elevate the sport in the UK. So, yeah, a new platform, MXN TV. Please go and like, subscribe, because we're going to look to do more of these live streaming. And beyond that as well, more video content, just more behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on in the world of motocross going forward. It's very early days with us, as we said. It was kind of one of those decisions with all of us involved where we've gone, shall we? Yeah, let's go for it. Let's, without too much sort of like, and then sort of just go for it, you know, and we're kind of, now we've started it, we're now going to sit down after this weekend and start making some genuine plans on more events throughout the year. So we are really thankful of you guys tuning in all over the world for this, our sort of first official production on MXN TV. Of course, we covered the Michelin MX Nationals last year, but we ran that off through their YouTube page. And where this is, I can't stress enough, this is very much an independent thing. Yeah, so we can go and cover other events.
You're doing MX Nationals next year. I might pop in on a few or whatever.
You're jumping.
I'm definitely going to, yeah, I mean, like, can't keep me away, mate. But, yeah, I've got, you know, other commitments.
Totally.
We've said, you know, these MXN TV things, like, we'll make it work, won't we?
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, we'll do our very best. It would be good to have you alongside me for them, whatever we decide to do. But, yeah.
Let's fill the schedule, mate.
Well, we're making a start with this, and we really hope that all you guys at home, as we said, or wherever you're watching, that you're enjoying it. Yeah.
Or even if they want an event live streamed.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Yeah.
Shout up. We'll be there.
Absolutely. This is the EMX125 Moto 2 coming up. And as we said, for these kids, young men, a steep old learning curve on a day like this at the best of times. But, you know, tough going, but it's a tough sport. So
I think you can learn a lot on days like this. Like, it's, especially for these kids, it's an opportunity to race like an iconic track, almost up to GP spec track, really. Let's see who's going to get the start. Oh, look at that. Nice wheelie down there.
Was that August again? That was one. He was, yeah, I think it was. That was August Frisk power wheeling up the up the start straight.
Who's going to get it?
Yeah, there. I think that's him there. In that, he's back in 4th or 5th. So the opening moto winner, Frisk, is back a little bit. There you go. So it's was that 4:19? Was that Joe Brooks moving in there? I think it might have been. You know,
trying to get the numbers locked in.
Sure, it was Brooks, because Brooks has made, it's got a last-minute change, actually. You know, he was Yamaha last year, Crescent Yamaha. Then he was kind of going to do his own thing for a little while. And, oh, is that August Frisk down there? I think it might be, you know. No, I think that is. No, there he is there, back in
Looks like Ollie, is that Ollie Colmer out front?
It could well be. No, I think it's Joe Brooks. That's what I was saying.
Is it Joe?
I think Joe has switched teams last minute. He was doing his own thing on a Yamaha, and he has now moved on to the GRT setup.
It's either Colmer or Brooks. It's one of the two.
Well, we're going to find out. Well, that's not Colmer, because there's Ollie there.
Yeah. So it's right.
Joe Brooks. Yeah, he made a last minute.
I was doubting you.
No, well, he's like I said, he's switched from Yamaha sort of last minute to go onto the GRT Impact team. So
which we all know put a good program together.
Yeah, they really do. A few more lines starting to open up now, because that race line, what we call race line, that was drying out. Yes, it will get slightly drier. but with it, it will get rougher.
Charlie Griffiths with another good start.
So, you know, as we get towards the end of the day, there'll be arguably much more line choice than there has been for the opening moto. You can see the difference
Charlie
in
lost
power.
so much speed going up there.
But, you know, I know this is almost a daft thing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. You know, compared with obviously the 450s, you can just see the absolute difference in power.
This track's just absolutely robbing these 125s of everything, isn't it, at the minute? That's very awkward there.
That's probably the most one-line section of the track, just that little bit through there.
You're not going to pass through there very easily, no.
No, but the rest of it, it's pretty
fair game, isn't it?
It is indeed. Lots of choice to take. Oh, they're taking a classic front-end duck. It's Wolbini, isn't it?
That was a
326. Yeah, it's Wol,
crash.
who had a great first ride.
Store 114.
Yeah, riding for Jordan Booker's Store what was it? Sorry,
Store 114.
Yeah, sorry, I need
Jordan Booker's.
I need it. Coffee.
Yeah, he's all Troy Lee designed up. I think they're sort of backed by CI Sport, aren't they?
Yeah, well, good on him for getting behind Wall, because Wall is a talent. Yes,
he's just cool as well, isn't he?
Yeah. He's just thrown it down the track. So there's me saying he's a talent, but he is. But mistakes are going to happen. The kid has definitely got the funk when it comes to cutting loose on a motocross bike. So Wolbini,
I think it goes well with that image that Jordan tries to do with the shop. Yeah, they're a good fit.
Yeah. So Brooks out in front, ahead of Ashton Bowden, who was in second. So good start for Ashton there. Then Griffiths having a solid ride, actually. I got to say, he's come on. He started pretty good this start of this year, I think. Looks like he's been working hard in the off season.
Look at that. Griffiths. We've got the Brits up the front this time. So Henderson and Frisk just outside the top three at the minute. They're going to. They didn't get the starts they quite got in the first moto. So we've got some British flags.
This is going to be good then to see how they come through.
Yeah.
If they come through.
Yeah, the 522 of Ashton Bowden. Just have a look, see if we've got any sponsors on here. BCS MX. They're backing Bowden's program. So big shout out to those.
Yeah, Henderson though already up to second. So Casimir Henderson, the rider from Finland, getting in there, and here comes August Frisk as well, getting some good drive up that hill. Starting to close in on Bowden ahead of him.
So August Frisk riding for Moto Exchange Yamaha team. EMX team. They've been around for quite a while, I think. A few years, the Moto Exchange team.
Yeah, Bailey Johnson rode from a little while back.
Yeah.
A few others. But Brooks looking good on his new ride. But then, you know, he was solid last year on the Yamaha. A kid that I have to say, like, I wouldn't say come out of nowhere. But he hasn't been doing it very long, really.
He wasn't massive in like the big wheel, small wheel scene, was he?
No, but he's just one thing I can see from watching him ride and seeing the environment in which he's in. I think he's, as I said before in the broadcast, I think he's got a like a wise head on young shoulders, and clearly putting the work in. And
buried it there, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need to keep the momentum going.
That was Bowden, just came in and just buried the front wheel.
But I would call Brooks, from what I know of him, a kind of methodical thinking type kid about his craft. You know, I think that shows in some of his riding. You're still getting loads of people pinging you messages, aren't you? Now?
No, I'm not.
Wanting to have
just
a name
one
check.
guy who's a very good 125 rider in the British Nationals. His name Ash Hartland. And he said, I really don't want to read this out. This 125 class 100% missing a 32-year-old overweight dad with a can of Relentless and 20 fags on the start line. And that's Ash. But he's so fast. I don't get how he's a freak. He really is a freak.
There's certain 125 classes at club level, yes. We'd let that slide. I don't think we need too many of them out in international.
No, he's a good guy, though, real good guy. Great 125 rider. He does the, which is the 125 series? Ace Abyss?
Yeah.
Smith's 125 Championship. I think he's won it a few times. Yeah, real good rider.
Now, and that's the other thing that we love about this sport, the beauty of it. Look, I've always said this, you know, any level of sport, you're going to get people that work their way to the top and are naturally gifted or whatever.
That's
one thing I would say about this sport, over many others that I've seen down the years or whatever, is that everybody that rides a motocross bike, you instantly have respect for anybody else that does. So you don't get many top riders or people that are good club riders regionally ridiculing and basically laughing at other people that are getting into the sport. There's none of this like airs and graces. No. It's like, we all know how tough it is. So anybody
it's gnarly. It just is.
Anybody that swings their leg over a motocross bike and goes riding almost instantly earns respect from everybody already in it.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's like an instant way to be cool, isn't it? You know what I mean? If if you want to be cool, get on a dirt bike. No, but it's just got some certain. You have to have a level of respect for the discipline, really, because like even like me, I was never amazing at it. So difficult. It's so difficult to be fast. You know, it's one of them weird sports. It's not like anybody can learn it to a degree, but there's tons and tons of elements that go into being a top level motocross rider. You have to respect it.
Absolutely do. Again, shout out to our sponsors of Hawkstone International, obviously the Salop Motor Club, Goggle Tech. The guys are here, I think, on site doing all that, and God, they're going to be busy.
Yeah.
With the lenses and stuff. The guys at Leah as well, obviously, you know, pioneers of really the neck braces, and then they've moved into actual clothing like
knee
race kit,
as well.
boots now, crash helmets or whatever. Yeah. That's become, you know, a big brand in the sport of motocross.
Hey, they do some good stuff.
Yeah.
They do some really good stuff. I mean, a lot of riders seem to wear their boots now. They seem to be quite popular. I think they're quite lightweight and like strong on the ankles. So, yeah, some real good products coming out of Leah. And all stemmed from that neck brace.
Yeah.
One good idea, one good design, and that's it.
Yeah, so thanks to those guys getting involved. Of course, the guys at Beer as well, big time getting involved with the live feed. And actually, without their support, and the guys at RFX, Oakley, Bell, Seven, Fly, all those brands that are coming under the Beer and RFX banner, as it were. Thank you so much for your support, because, as I said, quite simply, without their support, there wouldn't have been a live stream today. And, of course, the Salop Motocross Club, or Motor Club, for taking a punt and going, do you know what? Yeah, let's give it a go. Let's live stream it. You know, they've never done it before. Obviously, conscious of people coming out, buying tickets to come and watch. But credit to them. So come to terms with it all, and we said, let's do it. Short notice, as we said, but we're doing it.
Henderson is absolutely on the move. He just passed Joe Brooks then, as you were talking, and he's come from miles back. The speed he carried past the... Did you see them when they went up the hill? Doubling in there. If you weren't watching that, you missed something special. This kid has found some speed now. So eyes on Henderson, because Krasimir is flying. He's the kid right now. Look at it. He's actually
I thought he tucked it in there. He stuck it
in there. But like, if you can just visibly see the speed that he's been able to carry around the track, and everything is about momentum. If you watch that bike, he's not coming off the gas anywhere. Scrubbing now. Look through here. Look at the momentum. Staying on the hard stuff. If you watched Brooks, then he went a little bit wider into the soft stuff. You'll start seeing these guys now, especially at Hawkstone, when all the soft dirt gets pushed off, you know, to the outside of the lines, you'll see some of the smarter guys or more experienced guys trying to just hug in a little bit tighter and stay on that hard packed sand that's often on the inside of the berm. You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely, yeah. I can see he's got a bit of swag as well, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Over the jumps, he kind of gets loose and he kind of puts that straight leg out, takes his feet off the pegs.
I'm a Krasimir fan now. I'm a fan. That's it, boy. I'm watching you at the EMX next week at Matley. Got all eyes on you.
Yes, well, yeah, well, I'm not sure. The 125s aren't at Matley, I don't think, are they? I think it's just EMX250 and the Open.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
It is a shame because, yeah, I'm always into watching the 125 racing. But listen, Matley will still be fantastic. We've got MX1, MX2, obviously opening round of the World Championship, and we will have the EMX250 guys there.
Harvey.
Open. Yeah.
Harvey on screen there, getting his photos, video shots in for the teams.
A lot of the media guys out there. But as we said, Casimir Henderson leading the way now. The Finnish rider has worked his way ahead of Joe Brooks. August Frisk, the Swedish rider, now up to third. Looks like he might have, it looks like he's gapped Bougen a little bit. Still quite a ways to go to get Brooks. Much better ride from Brooks, who I think had a crash in the opening moto, cost him basically. Ollie Colmer, as of first lap incident, we saw him hung up around the backside of the section, the course there. He's now up to 9th. So yes, it's working out. Walbini, after his tumble, is now up to 13th. Tyler Hooley, haven't seen much of him on screen. Oh, who's that? Gone down. We can't see the number. He looks like he's been punched
number
drunk,
9,
like knocked out, but of course he hasn't. So just trying to work out. That's Carl Harris. Actually, we did see Carl Harris in the opening one.
DJ Harris.
Yeah. So Carl has got a degree of TV airtime for not the right reasons, but
but hey,
you know,
shout out.
See how going into that rut there again. You know, it's like the front end was wanting to break away, wasn't it?
Because I think he's trying to like just stay outside of that deep berm. If you watch him through here as well, look on that. I know he did bury it a little bit that time. Last lap round, he managed to just stay a little bit on the harder stuff.
And for those of you that maybe watching motocross for the first time, obviously we race on varying conditions. We get sand tracks, we get what we call blue groove, where it literally is like almost rock hard dirt, like tarmac, and you can sort of see tire marks almost laid down. Sand, particularly wet sand and deep sand, is very much a different technique to obviously the hard pack. What you need to do when you're riding sand is keep momentum going, even different line choice arguably.
Yeah, find out little hard spots and stuff to get to gain speed.
Yeah, and what you also need to do more in sand is just get back in the saddle, the seat a bit more, almost try and sort of steer more with the rear, lock your arms, let the rear wheel drive you around the corner. You don't want to start turning the steering too much, because obviously what happens sometimes, it just will dig into the sand, as we've seen already today, and pitch you over the bars. So it's not huge, but it's a subtle difference, a slight weight. You just shift your weight that little bit more to the back, basically. And that's what you need to do in the sand, and it's definitely an art. Some riders are naturally gifted, brilliant at riding sand. You know, riders, if you've got to ask them, most will have a preference. One or two will go, do you know what, I don't care what I ride, I'm good in both.
Yeah, but that's normally like you're lying to yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like it is. And I think everybody has a yin or a yang, don't they? Like you are going to have something you're a little bit stronger at. I think a factor is the tyres as well. You don't have any sideways grip on a traditional paddle tire. I know some of them are coming in now with new designs where you do have a little bit of sideways grip. Probably back when you were riding, and even back when I was riding, your scoop tyre was sketchy.
Didn't even have
You didn't have it. When I was riding, scoop tyres could be sketchy. There was no sideways grip on there. And that can really, if you're not on it and driving with the gas, the whole back end of the bike feels weird and light, and it almost moves around. So, like, you need to be constantly on the gas. And depending on what tyre brand they're riding with, it will depend. I know the Pirellis, they are pretty much a pure sand tyre. I know the Dunlops do like an in-between now. But, yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. There's different techniques to it and whatever, you know, and this is deep, heavy sand. So you want to keep the momentum going, get your weight back a bit further, particularly on a 125. So running order is Henderson, as you can see at the front, Casimir Henderson, Joe Brooks in second. August Frisk is not closing in on Brooks now. That looks like that's settled down. Then another 17 seconds back. Good ride for Ashton Bougen. Then we have Saku Mansiki-Maki, the Finnish rider.
Ben Muster.
Yeah.
In 6th. 7th, Joel Fisher. And 8th is that.
That's Dan Arkle.
Dan Arkle.
Yeah, you got
Sam Davies.
Sam Davis moving up to 9th. And then
on an enduro bike in 9th. It is.
Is it? If you're going
it is. 100%.
Okay.
100%, mate.
He's been to check it out.
So, 18-inch rear wheel.
Really? Okay, so there you go. But to be fair, you know, it's not. You probably wouldn't notice it so much on conditions like this. Walbini, picking himself up, has got into the top 10. So that's the current running order. I think we are getting close to the one-lap board coming out here for the second EMX125 race. Does that look like, to me, Joe Brooks is closing back in on the leader?
He's definitely keeping him honest.
Definitely closing back in on him. So Brooks finding his second wind.
Brooks got a much better drive up that hill there. Much better drive. Henderson was obviously out to the outside, and I don't think there's as much traction there. It is smoother, but I don't think there's quite as much traction. He's right there, look.
Right, this is good
Joe
stuff.
Brooks
You
is
might
on,
even be able to hear through our mics the trackside commentary. Roger Warren is starting to ramp up the crowd out there because Joe Brooks is definitely closing in on Henderson in this one. Just lost our race leaders momentarily. They've got to try and pick them up again. There we go. So that's your race leader, and look at that, Brooks right behind him. This is good stuff.
This is good stuff, and back markers are going to come into play now.
Back into view, there they are. So with this event, some events you have, we have basically sector timing, so we can see on the timing where the guys are on track. For the Hawkstone International, we've just got the finish line timing loop. So we're having to put our faith in our incredible cameramen out there trying to keep an eye through one eye through where they are on the track whilst filming from the other. And we've picked the leaders back up. And there's no doubt about it. Joe Brooks is now putting on some serious heat. I've got a sneaking suspicion we might be on the last lap, hence why the urgency. Oh, he just come up short there, though, didn't he?
Lost short, clear his lens, but he made it. He came up short, and he made the time count. He just cleared the goggles. We've got a few more corners to go. Let's make it happen.
Well, this we've seen down the years. We always say from this corner, it's going to take a brave effort. Oh, we got a bit of carnage. Yellow flags, static yellow, so they should be okay not to overtake, but each other. Wave yellows. Obviously, you got to slow right down.
I think that's it now. I think Henderson's going to have this one. Goal! Just comes up short. Joe Brooks did on that jump there. But I can't see anywhere else now where he's going to be able to make it happen.
No, unless he gets held up by... He's right there, but I don't think he's going to get it done. It's going to be a race win for Casimir Henderson. Yeah, it is. Yeah. There it is. The checkered flag comes out. He's almost like, dude,
what are you doing?
Dude, what are you doing? I'm trying to win a race. Like, that's the thing of it. There's no radio comms as well. If you're new to watching motocross, unlike, for example, Formula One, where they've got, you know, somebody in their ear, they got their engineer in the. We have none of that in the world of motocross. The only way these riders know what's going on is from a lap board that gets hung out from the pit box area once a lap, and that board has limited information because the rider only sees it at a glance. It's not like you can write an essay on it.
No, you can only have small snippets of information. I think it is just another factor of motocross, isn't it? You can't in F1, the engineers of that rider who's being lapped could make him aware of it. You know, in here there's so many variables, especially when the circuit's like this and everybody's dirty and no one knows who's who. It does make it a little bit more difficult for back markers as well as, you know, leaders coming through. So that was EMX race 2. Henderson took the win. So Casimir Henderson took the win over Joe Brooks. We've got August Frisk in third. So he came across the line in third. Ash Bowden in fourth. And then, my favourite name, Saku Mansiki Maki.
Perfectly executed.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
In fifth. Ben Musto in sixth. Sam Davies up to seventh. That was a good result. And then the 7-11 of Joel Fisher in eighth there. I think is that him coming across the line, maybe? No, that's Hooley, I think. And then 63, Dan Arkle?
Dan, yeah.
Dan Arkle. And then Walbini rounding out the top.
Well,
no.
Hooley.
Tyler Hooley just pips Walbini for the top 10.
That was it. EMX 125 race 2 done. Up next, we're back to the MX2 race 2.